So the topic of today is not business as usual, yeah, which is kind of another way of saying, you know, the world's changed, it's about innovation, it's about creativity, it's about a new order. Let's talk about that. So here's a joke, okay? I don't know if you've seen this joke. Why are lawyers so slow to wake up to innovation age? Answer, innovation needs humans and they have to find one first, okay? So I found that joke online and I thought, yeah, well, but the point is that companies don't make innovation happen, people do, okay? It doesn't matter what organization you work for, who you work for, what the mandate and the strategy is. It might be one of the strategic pillars of your business, but it's all about people. Unless you step up and say, yep, I'm that guy, I'm that person, I'm that girl, I'm in for this, it ain't going to happen, yeah? And that's what I want to talk to you today. And the sort of subtext of my talk is step out of your comfort zone and create the world you want to succeed in. So you see this here? This is the comfort zone. It's a nice square box. And stepping out there is a portrait painting by Jackson Pollock. That's the space we want to get into, yeah? So that's sort of the subtext of the theme, and that's the journey I want to take you guys on. Now, I'm not an expert in innovation at all. I'm not here to give you a discourse and give you lessons on how to innovate and the methodologies and processes, etc., etc. This ain't my bag at all, because tools, I believe, are as good as the people who use them. I can send you on an innovation course for 2 days, but at the end of the day, what's your view of yourself? What do you see? Do you believe you can truly innovate? Do you truly believe this is something you can do, this is who you are? And it's about that. It's the attitude that I want to talk to today and address. And so the person I'm speaking to in the room is what I call brand you. Now, it's not like there's and I brand everything, by the way, but the most important brand of all is brand you. Because companies don't make stuff happen, people do. Innovation happens because of you. So what's your brand? When you walk into the innovation space, who are you? What do you think about yourself and what are you up for? Yeah? Now, it's not like there's the real you, that there's a brand you, because people think branding is all bullshit and spin, but it's not. To me, branding is authentic. It's based on who you really are, what you really want for yourself in your life, and what your purpose is. So that's the real you. The other you is the bullshit you, okay? So I'm talking to brand you. And I want to suss out and see what's the appetite for innovation? What's the self-belief that you have? Do you have it in you, okay? What I want to do is say, I want to put this out there right now and say, to be an agent of innovation, I like this idea of, being an agent of innovation requires 2 things. 2 beliefs in terms of attitude. The first is that the future will be better than the present. That's the first one. That's why people resist change. They don't like change. They hold back. They go, oh, no, is this all good? And there's a lot of change happening. A lot of it's driven by technology. And there are pessimists. And you can take that view. But I suggest it's better to take the optimistic view because technology is doing amazing things as well. So that's the first thing I want you to consider, yeah? Is that you have a belief that the future will be better than the present. And the second is I have the power to make it happen. So those are the 2 beliefs. We're going to get to right at the end and we're going to address those 2 beliefs. That's what I want you to consider. Now, as I talk, there's an important conversation going on. It's not me talking shit up here. It's you talking to yourself. And it's called the voice in your head. Do you know the voice in your head? If you don't know, it's the voice saying, what voice is this guy talking about? Yeah? That voice. Now, that's an important conversation for you. That's what's going on. Yeah, what happens with the voice in the head is, I agree, I disagree, no, that's rubbish, no, I don't like that, no, that's not right, no, I don't know. That's what we do. We look for agreement. We look for stuff that feeds our worldview. This is how it is. So I'm asking you to please not do that because you get nothing out of the session. What I'm asking you to do is to consider that everything I'm saying, like everything I'm going to say here is complete bullshit. Okay? Like it's not true at all. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm committed to what I'm saying, but I'm not pretending it's true. I'm asking that you try it on. You see that jacket? It's a pretty shit jacket. I know. I'm just asking you to try it on. So if I say something, just try it on. And go, yeah, is this maybe right? Could this be for me? Well, maybe. Just try it on. As opposed to, no, that's bullshit. No, I don't agree. Because if you say that in the next 5 minutes, there's something I say, I've lost you. It's gone. Yeah? So try it on and come on the journey in that way. Is that cool? Okay, cool. And here's the journey. So there's 3 stops in the journey. First of all, welcome to your future. So I'm going to paint a very brief picture of the world and the future we're working in, living in. We're going to begin the journey with the end in mind. What does that look like? Where might we be going? And then the last bit is making it happen. That's where it comes right back to you guys. So what are you going to do to make it happen? So cool? That's the journey. Start off. Welcome to your future. And I discovered that there is a legal innovation index. Like it's an award thing that they have for innovation in the legal industry. So I didn't know what was going on. So obviously this is a thing, okay? There's a challenge that's out there. There's a movement. There's a kind of like, whoa, this is important stuff, all right? So when I look at the world, there's a few ways of looking at it. First of all is the rate of change curve, and that's your world over there. Like you don't even know what's, this is 20, 30 years from now. Like no one really knows what's coming up. You can plot different milestones on that, and of course this is getting, the curve is getting sharper and sharper, and it's accelerating more and more, and we're heading towards 2045, which is artificial intelligence, potentially, although there's a lot of artificial intelligence going on right now, and we don't really know, like, what's going on, what's happening here. A way of looking at this is the price-performance ratio. How many million instructions per second can you buy for $1,000? Today it's about, what a mouse's brain can process. 2023, they reckon it's about what a human brain can process. 2049, all the brains on the planet can process. It's like, wow, this is like, well, wow, okay. Do you have a sense, because every time you go into Jerry Harvey's store, the computer you bought last year feels a bit obsolete and out of date, and it's like, oh shit, I better get a new one now, and because it's changing, okay? And this is the kind of raw data, this is what's doing it, yeah? So let's look at this in a few ways, okay? Let's look at an industry, let's look at motor cars. Let's look at Uber, okay? I don't know how many Uber drivers there are in Australia because the numbers aren't available, but there's in the United States. Who catches Uber these days? Mostly, yeah? Everyone, pretty much. Like Uber's it's a better experience, something about it, And on the right is the value of a taxi license plate in Australia. As you know, it's fallen down to about 140,000. Like that business, this taxi business, Uber came along, data-driven business platform, the taxi industry, in the arse. Like in the arse, okay? Then we get to this. Now, I don't know what this means for Uber or for taxis, but it's self-driving motor cars, yeah? So the number of self-driving cars on the road by 2020 will be about 10 million. And of course, Elon Musk, who owns Tesla, is saying all cars will be self-driving in 10 years' time by 2027. So what does that mean? For the taxi industry, for the automobile industry, for all sorts of industries, and for you guys as well. There's a whole lot of legal stuff that comes with this. Suddenly it's self-driverless cars. Now what? It's a whole new ballgame. Well, let's look at some examples of your profession, okay? So I found this. It's a legal office in Darwin, of all places, called ALIRA, Artificially Intelligent Legal Information Research Assistant. It's the law firm without lawyers, okay? So you've heard of this as a concept. Obviously, artificial intelligence is driving, and I think the kind of advice and stuff they give is pretty basic. It's around wills and things like that. But this is kind of what's in the pipeline. This is what's going on. And then there's this very famous thing called Case Cruncher. I don't know if you've heard of a Case Cruncher. It's a system that makes legal decision predictions. And they did a big test. This is a few months ago. The lawyers, 62.3% of the lawyers got it right. Case Cruncher, 86.6% got it right. Case Cruncher outperformed the lawyers. Artificial intelligence in terms of legal predictions and that kind of work. Legal predictions, research, stuff like that. All this is going on, yeah? So this is what's happening. Things like this. We can talk about hundreds of examples, but I think the point I want to make is this. Margaret Mead was a social anthropologist, and she went into remote communities where there had been no change for a long time, like in Papua New Guinea. And her observation as an anthropologist was, change is like being an immigrant into a new time. And I think that's what it's like. We are immigrants into a new time. And there is no precedent. And that's the thing. Because the whole legal system is based on precedents. And people's experience is based on yesterday and precedents. But when you get into a world where we're immigrants into a new time, there is no signposts. There is no book saying, yeah, do this for the next 2 years and you'll be good, mate. It's not like that. So when I arrived in Australia as an immigrant into a new country, you look around, you learn, you see, you integrate, you adopt. But immigrants of a new time, it doesn't work like that. So that's an interesting way and a confronting way of thinking about change. So let's look at it like this, okay? So there's a map. It's a map of the world. It's a map of your world. It's a mental map. How you see the world, how you see your life, how you see your profession, how you see the legal profession, how things work. And that's it. Boom. You go, yep, that's it, because, look, National Geographic, they know their shit. Like it's them, yeah? And when I was a kid in kindergarten, that hung up on the back wall of the classroom. Like, boom, I know. Like, you know. Except, of course, if you're going to space. People who float through space look at the world, and it doesn't look like that. You see this? It's not upside down. The words are spelt the right way around. This is a legitimate way of looking at it. I haven't changed the world, but I've changed the way we look at it. Yeah? And the more attached you are to seeing your world and your life and your business, which we tend to do in this way, this is how it is, the more limited you are to recognize there might be other ways. There might be other alternatives. Yeah? And I think we need to embrace this kind of thinking in a world that is changing the way it is. And here's some numbers around that. So Data61, who's a client of mine, is part of the CSIRO, are saying 40% of Australian jobs won't exist in 10 to 15 years. And a lot of those are your profession, by the way. Accenture did a study on the whole, disruption thing and what's going on. They found that 87% of companies think they will be disrupted in the next 5 years. 7% have a plan. Like 7% have a plan. And most people are playing catch-up. That's what you find, isn't it? You either resist the change, which is not a good option, or you play catch-up and try and catch up, or you've got a plan on the front foot, driving it. That's the thing. And it all starts with where. So that's the context, that's the thing, this journey, and it starts with where. You begin with the end in mind. So here's the thing. Where are you aiming for? How high are you aiming, and how big are you aiming? Let's discuss that. What does success look like for me? So it's kind of like Maslow hierarchy of needs pyramid, but it's you at work. I'm paying my bills. I'm doing my job. I'm doing a pretty decent job. I'm doing a great job. I'm doing an awesome job, or I'm changing the world. Or something like that. Okay? Where do you sit on that scale? A lot of people are paying their bills. I know that. They come into work, they pay their bills, and that's why they're there. It's not a great reason for being at work. Yeah? Then you go up the scale. So let's see where you actually sit. Where do you sit today? Let's find out. So what I'm going to do is a statement. And the statement is, I am on fire. Well, it's actually not. The statement is, I'm doing an awesome job. Well, I'm on fire, man. I'm doing an awesome, awesome job. Okay? Out of 10. I want you to score yourself out of 10, please. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you are. Okay? If you're a 10, you are like a living legend in this room, like right now, yeah? If you're a 1, there's the door, you're out, okay? Or you're somewhere in between. And I want a show of hands, please. Any 10s? Any 9s? Are you a 10? What's your name, please? Right. How do you spell that? R-A. Yeah. R-A-Y-A? N-I-A. Y-N-A. Thank you. Any 9s? Any 8s? 7s? 6s? 5s? 4 less. Okay. So what's the average? Oh, 4 less, I said. 4 less. Are you a 1? A 1? Yeah? What's your name? Huh? Guy. What's the average? Round number, the average. Yeah, round it up. 7, yeah? More like a 7, yeah? Okay. It's always a 7. Always a 7, okay? Here's the thing about this. When I ask what the number is, there's a risk. Okay? In fact, there's 2 risks. The first risk is you put your hand up and you say you're a 10, which Rainer took. What's the risk? People judge you. You're a dickhead. Pull your head in, buddy. Who do you think you are? This is Australia. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're a 10? Like, really? You know? Okay? You know, it takes courage to put your hand up and say you're a 10, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So good on you. That's why we're talking about you. Do you remember who was a 7? No idea. No idea who was a 7. These are the 7s. Look. Just a sea of sameness. There's no innovation and stuff happening in there. It's all just safety, you know? The other risk is, and by the way, no one's ever put their hand up to one before, ever, in these things I've done. Ever. So, Guy, that's the risk. What's the risk when you say I'm a 1? Yeah. You get judged. You're a loser, man. Like, what do you mean you're a 1? But what are you saying, Guy, when you say you're a 1? What are you actually saying? So there's the risk, yeah? Risky business. But the average is a 7. And the 7 is this, okay? Here it is. That's the 7. This is the comfort zone. Yeah? It's fine being a 7. You won't lose your job. Business won't be, it's not the end of the world. So, your business is not going to collapse, It's like very safe, very reasonable, sensible position to take. Being a 7. But you know what? If I said to you, you can have a choice for yourself and your life. Do you want to be a 10 or do you want to be a 7? And let's put a 10 out here. Let's say, it's only a metaphor, okay? Let's say that's a 10. Right out there. That's a 10, yeah? There he's sitting in the comfort zone. I bet you would say, no. I want a fucking 10, man. I want to lead a 10 life. Give it a choice. In a bar at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, you say, no, I want to be a 10. And if not, that's fine. You tell me and I will come and engrave on your tombstone. He was a 7. And that'll be your legacy, okay? And innovation, that idea of innovation, the risks you need to take, the energy, the passion, the commitment is a 10, yeah? You can't be an agent and a champion of innovation and be a 7 and just hide amongst the pack. It doesn't work like that. So what happens? This is why we settle within that comfort zone. Because the culture is, a 7's good enough. 7's good enough for most of us. Yeah, it's fine. It's very sensible. There's a whole culture around, this is how we do things around here. Yeah? No one wants to stick their neck out and rock the boat. No one wants to be that person. It's frowned upon sometimes, isn't it? So it's like, yeah, this is the world. This is our map of the world. I'll just stay within that space and keep it within there. And as long as I tick the boxes, yeah? We have this ticking the boxes mentality culture. People talk about it all the time. Well, we've ticked all the boxes. Oh, man, really? Like, that's it? That's your approach to life and work, is to tick the bloody boxes? It's important to tick the boxes, yeah, but it's not about ticking the boxes. And then we have this other thing. These are the things that are keeping people in that zone, is I'm too busy. Like, I'm too busy, man. Really, I'm just busy doing what I've got to do. You see people in the city, and they meet with business people, colleagues. So how's it going? Next question, are you busy? You hear that question all the time. So are you busy? And what's the answer? Every single time. Oh, shit, yeah, man. Yeah, man, crazy busy. Like, every time. I've never heard somebody say, no. Cruising, man. Just great. I got time, Like, we have to be busy. It's important. What are you busy doing? Oh, just meetings, emails, lunch, just shit, I'm just busy. Yeah? It's kind of like that, and we chew up time in that way. So here's the invitation. It's to step out of this comfort zone here, okay? And create the world you want to succeed in, and what does that look like? So let's do this. The Data 61, their CEO, Adrian Turner, he's from the Silicon Valley. He's an Aussie from the Silicon Valley. He's been brought back here. Same as Larry Marshall, who's the CEO now of the CSIRO. Right? And they have a term in the Silicon Valley. They have all this funky language in here. Yeah, Richard, let's take a moonshot. So we are. Like, what's a moonshot, Larry? And a moonshot is you just go for it. You might fall flat on your face or you might not, okay? That's the sort of attitude, give it a go, all right? I was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of cool, you know. I don't see that a lot in business, but that kind of thing is interesting. So, but for me, you know, like set your sights on the moon, and you might reach the moon. Yeah, you won't get there, but you'll get close to there. But if you aim for the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, well, then, you know what I mean? You're not going to get that far. But to me, also, there's something about the moon that's a bit underwhelming because we went to the moon in 1969. It's like, oh, really? That's it? I'm kind of more interested in something higher than that, even. So I want to talk about a guy, and I'm sure everyone knows who he is now, but even a year ago, people really didn't know about this guy too much. But I'm going to introduce to you, it's a video of his company, and there's a launch of an event, a launch of something, okay? So I'm going to play the launch, and then let's discuss who he is, okay?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on!
Any ideas? Which company is that? Yeah, Elon Musk, yeah. Launch of Tesla. Everyone goes, oh, it's Virgin. Everyone goes, oh, it's, you know, it's huh? Well, that's not the car he sent off. That came later. But yeah. But this happened about 3 years ago. If this rocket hadn't have gone off, that was the end of SpaceX. Like everything was on the line. You know, like he was at a 50-50, half were exploding on the launch pad, half were actually taking off, yeah? This was a bit of a do or die kind of moment in his company, yeah? So the thing about him, and I just like to use Elon Musk because he's alive today, he's pretty young, and he's really changing things, okay? He's a game changer. So he started SpaceX in 2002, and he started SpaceX to revolutionize space technology with the ultimate goal of enabling people to live on other planets. Yeah? So what's the plan? The plan is to live on Mars. Okay? That's the plan. He started this company in 2002. He put hundreds of millions of dollars of his own money into it, and the plan was we're going to go and live on Mars. Not the moon, we're going for Mars. Okay? So you kind of go, why? Like, what? What are you smoking, dude? Like, really? Is this for real? Yeah? And why Mars? Because it's part of our evolution. You know, we were in the ocean, we got feet, we came out, we got wings, we flew. It's about becoming interplanetary species. It's the next step. It's something we need to do. It's something worthwhile investing in. It's just where we go. Of course, recently, you launched the Falcon Heavy. You gave it a 50-50 chance of success. Those were the odds. This thing would work. This one with a car in it.
All systems currently green.
There he is watching it, like a kid in a candy store.
Configured for flight. T-minus 15, stand by for terminal count.
All right, guys. Final.
9,
10,
9,
8,
8, side booster mission. 6, 5, 4,
2, 1. That thing took off.
Oh my god.
Okay, listen up. Do you see them both light up?
Inside shut down. Inside boosters.
Yes! Look at that.
What? Look at that. That's unreal.
And the Falcons have landed.
LZ1, LZ2, both side boosters have touchdown. Landing out through move on to 11 by 1, recovery 1 and recovery 2. 8-2, 8.10.
And coming up very shortly, the center core will be.
Yeah, he gave that a 50-50% chance of success. So what is his view on risk and innovation? You know, how does he see it? I mean, what does he actually, here it is. It's 1 minute, okay? Just listen to what he says, yeah.
3, 2, 1, 0. And we have liftoff.
I don't really like risk for risk's sake or anything. And I do think that a lot of things are very risky with a low chance of success. But if you want to try to come up with an innovative breakthrough, that's going to be how it is. Anything which is significantly innovative is going to come with a significant risk of failure. But if you've got to take big chances in order for the potential for a big positive outcome. If the outcome is exciting enough, then taking a big risk is worthwhile.
Yeah.
So it's about aiming high. It begins with the end in mind. Where are you aiming? Like Mars is like a metaphor. Like to get out here, that's Mars, let's say. Way out of your comfort zone. This is risky business. This is where innovation happens. It doesn't happen in there. But yet most of us, the default setting, the position where we feel comfortable, where we spend our life and our careers very often, is just sitting in that space over there. So my point is you've got to step out. You've got to step out of that comfort zone. Not all the time. I mean, God, but now and then you really have to do it. And Elon Musk, by the way, this is what the chances that he gave there. He gave Tesla and SpaceX a 10% chance of success. So Tesla was a diesel car. No, it's an electric car that'll be better than any diesel or petrol car. That's what he said. It was like, you're crazy, dude. This is not going to happen. It's impossible to do that. Yeah? And Tesla nearly went under. Like it nearly did. And so did SpaceX. SpaceX hung on that last rocket launch that I just showed you earlier on. 10% chance he gave it. And still he did it. He backed it in, put everything on the line, and boom, So I don't know, I just find that inspiring. And I think there's someone who's really changing things. But it doesn't just happen like, yeah, sure, we do it, and here we go. He gave it a 10% chance. So what are the things that you're going to put your neck on, And they might have a 10% chance as well. You don't want to bet the whole company on it. He did, though. But just something, some area, something, It needs to be that. So aiming high is what it's about. So think about Mars. That's a metaphor for what we're aiming for. So now we're going to aim high. We're aiming for Mars. The next thing is to make it happen. And as I said to you before, making it happen starts with you. It starts with brand you. And it starts with a belief. And the belief is that I am an agent of innovation, and it believes with two things. The first is the future will be better than the present. And the second is I have the power to make it happen, which is about having self-belief. Do you think Elon Musk has self-belief? Of course he does. He has to have. And does he think the future is going to be better than the present? 100%, absolutely. Is he worried about artificial intelligence and robotics and how that might? Yes, of course. There's a downside to that. Of course there is. We need to manage it properly and do it right. So, the future will be better than the present. Here's the first one. You see that glass there? And we can talk about change all day. Change, and this is what's going on, and the legal firm, the law firm without lawyers and all that. You'd be going, oh my God, what's going on? And it used to be so, is that glass half full or half empty? Simple. Is it half full or half empty? And there's not a second slide with a half empty glass. There ain't. That's the point. You get to choose. You get to choose. All this talk of change and innovation and stuff, it might be like, oh my God, really, it used to be so easier back in the day. What's it all about? And, life's so hard. Like, well, it's also exciting and it's wonderful and it's full of opportunity and possibility. And how do you want to choose it? You get to choose that. You really do. And if you want to go half empty, well, then you will never be an agent of innovation. If you think technology is a bad thing and it's bad progress for this world and for your industry and what's going on really worries you and all that, that's it. You're not going to be this great agent of innovation. You get that? It just ain't going to happen. Now, for me, it looks as if, when I look at it, the world of changing, there's two aspects. So I'm the yin-yang. The yin-yang is the kind of principle, universal principle of life. You win, you lose. You die, you live. It's like it's one or the other. So you've got variable. This is the world of innovation and change and all that. And then you've got the fixed. And the fixed is cool. So the fixed is important. We need to have that. But also you need to have the variable. The thing is, I think most people spend their lives, especially their working business lives, in the fixed. They want everything to be fixed. Kind of sure and known, and it's about control, especially in the legal profession. So Alvin Toffler made this comment. He made this quote way back in the 70s. Literacy in the 21st century is not about people who can read and write, but people who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's very variable, isn't it? Learn, unlearn, relearn, transform yourself, reinvent yourself. That's what's needed. That map of the world, if you hang on to that map for your whole life, you just get left behind, man. Try that on, okay? Try that on. You've got to learn, unlearn, relearn, make space for new ideas, new stuff, and new views. But still, people like a fixed view of life. They want a fixed world, a fixed solution. So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you the option to have a fixed life. So here's the iPhone 14, okay? And there's an app. It's called Fix. You can fix your life 10 years out. Everything. No surprises, nothing bad. You can fix it in. Your kids, perfect. Perfect kids. You want them to get that HSC mark, that ATAR, they'll get it. Guaranteed. You want the promotion to be a partner, or you want to be the promotion in your company where you work, you've got it. Done. You want that house with a view, it's sorted. You want to drive a Tesla, no problem. You can fix it. No surprises, it's done. You can lock it in. Okay? So there you go. You got the fixed life. Nothing variable. What happens? After 6 months of living like that, what happens? Hey? You what? Become a 7, yeah. But what's life like? What's it like? Hey? It's boring. It's like a shit. I need a surprise me button, dude. Like, I need that. It's not just a nice to have, like, we need it. We think we want it fixed. We think we want all the answers and to know and everything, but you don't. You actually don't. If you do have that, that's not a life. You want to be surprised. Yeah? See, that's the surprise. You were never expecting that, were you? Certainly not here at Clayton Utz, yeah? On a bloody Monday morning. That's a surprise. It's just, yeah. It's the thing about humor and comedy and stuff like that, yeah? When I look at the fixed and variable, fixed is about often in the legal profession, it's often about the negative. It's about what's wrong with this, what's wrong. It's looking for that, and it's a problem orientation, yeah? That is the mindset, fundamentally. But the other mindset to have is a positive one. A positive view, what's possible, and an opportunity orientation. I think that's the shift that needs to happen. Like, in a legal mind. Yes, you've got that, but now what about this? Invite that kind of variable into the thinking and the attitude that you have. That's the first thing, yeah? The second is I have the power to make it happen. I have the power to make it happen. Some people are born to change the world. Are you one of them? Like, are you one of them? Are most people like, no, Elon Musk is doing that, not me. And so what a lot of people do is they sit in the grandstands and they watch the game. The game of tennis, the game, whatever it is. It's a game. It's happening out there. And they comment all the time. Lots of commentary going on in the grandstand, yeah? Get on the court, man. Play. Play the game. Stuff up, make mistakes, make errors, but you've got to get on there and do it. Instead of sitting on the byline, sitting back, watching, commentating. And I think there's a fundamental shift that needs to happen around that. And it's not like you're going to necessarily change the whole world, but everybody has an area of impact. What's your area of impact? It's your clients, the company you work for, the people that sit around you. There might be 5 of them. You know what I mean? You've got an area of impact. Your friends. In that way, we can all change and be agents of change in our world, in our space where we work, as opposed to thinking, oh my God, I can't change the whole world. I'm not Elon Musk, therefore. No, it's not like that. So think about it that way. I'm one of them. I'm going to get on the court. I'm going to do some stuff, and I'm going to take some risks. But here's the thing. You kind of get that and go, yep, this is all fine. This is all great. Understanding here. I want to extend out a bit and all that. But, what's holding me back? So you see this thing here? This thing here? This that keeps us in the comfort zone? This like wall? This. What is it? Like you get the theory, you get what I'm saying, but nothing's necessarily going to change at all. And why? Okay? Yeah, it's fear, isn't it? That's exactly right. Try this on. I'll put it up. Fear. Fear is the big thing here. This is what keeps us being a 7, is what keeps us playing a bit small. Minor stuff. Settling, not putting our neck out, not taking the risks that are needed. You know what I'm saying? So fear. Fear of what? What are some of the fears? Fear of failure. Yeah, other fears. Fear of embarrassment. Yep. Fear of success as well. Let people down. There's lots of them. But you know where these fears sit? You see that there? The voice in the head. That's the voice in the head. That voice in the head we talked about earlier on, that voice is not a champion for who you are. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. It's not me. I'm not that person. It's like you tune into a radio station. Yeah? It's not all the time. Always talking, a voice like that. The radio station is 2 channels. I suck and I rock. Yeah? Like if it's tuned into I rock, that's fine, but it doesn't. Most of the time, it's I suck. It's not a champion for who you are. And so it keeps us in this space here. Oh, I don't want to stick out. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to stand out. You know, I might be ridiculed. I need to be popular. I need everyone to like me. I'll just agree with everybody, so, et cetera, et cetera. All that stuff comes into it. So here's the thing. Try this on, and I want you to consider this as a very important point. That the most important agreements you make in your life are the agreements that you make with yourself. And it's these agreements that hold you back from lots of things in life, but especially from being innovative. I'm not good enough is one. Like, that's not me, I'm not that guy. The 7 out of 10 is good enough. That's an agreement. It's a big agreement. As long as I tick the boxes. Don't rock the company boat. I don't have the time to be innovative. I'm just busy enough as it is. I don't have time for that. It's important to be seen to be busy. Yeah? You just got to be busy as long as you're busy. Taking a risk is not a smart career move. You heard that one before? Like, yeah, right, you know? People will like me more if I agree with them. Yeah? That whole thing about popularity and all that. I have to be the brightest person in the room. I think a lot of lawyers feel that way. Bright people go into rooms and I have to be the brightest person in the room. If you're the brightest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That's the thing, yeah? So these are agreements we make. We kind of make them in our head. You know, I'm not good enough, I'm a fail, I'm not this, I'm not that. This is how it is, this is the way the culture is, this is the profession, this is how it has to be. They're not like written in big posters and stuck out there, but they're there. So what's an agreement that you've made with yourself? What's an agreement that you've made that's keeping you in that comfort zone, that's keeping you safe, and life's fine, but you know there's a bit more. You know when you want to get into the space of being a bit innovative and trying things and getting it out there, making a move and being a game changer, whatever that might be. What's stopping you? If you can talk about those and identify what that is, that'll be an important, potentially a breakthrough. So let me ask you this as a fundamental question. What are the top attributes of an agent of innovation? Okay, so we know here I am, I'm an agent of innovation. What are the top attributes of this human being? Courageous, courage. Yep, just shout them out, please. Confidence. Hey? Creative. Yep. A few more. Fearless. 2 more. Flexible. 1 more. Positive. Okay. It's not like right or wrong here. You know, so here we've got a list of, you know, things that drive innovation inside of somebody, make them resilient, creative, courage, confidence, fearless, flexible, and positive, yeah? So the first thing about this language is, what I think is you can't say I'm resilient, creative, courageous with confidence, but I'm a 7. Like, it doesn't kind of work, does it? You know, the moment you start getting into this sort of language, you're becoming a 10. Like, it's taking you out there. You know, that's who you are. I'm courageous. I'm fearless. You embrace that. That's who I am. You're pushing the barriers, yeah? So this is the language of brand new. That's what I mean by brand new. Like, who are you really? Are you a fearless human being? Is that you? And do you bring that into work? And if not, why not? Because what's stopping you? You know what I mean? Because if you turn up to work and you're the fearless one, chances are you're going to piss someone off. Someone's not going to like you or like your ideas, correct? So what do? You just settle and pull back and say, okay, I won't be a 10 like Raynon was. I'll just keep it cool and, you know, sort of like a bullshit, man. You know, these are the things. Now, this language, to me, is lost, okay? And it's important, this language, because this is what it's about, but it's lost. It's lost in the process. And the process is, it starts with the CV, not so? The one time you create your brand. I mean, you literally do. You create the CV. Here it is. This is me. And I'm now going to sell myself to the highest bidder, you know? And there's always someone who's a bit of a CV expert, not so? In the family or friend or somebody, yeah? So I'm going to call him Uncle Frank, yeah? So you show your CV to Uncle Frank, and Uncle Frank, like, well, what say he? And Uncle Frank goes, yes, no, it's looking good, Richard, but you need something a little bit more personal. So why don't you put a section in there called hobbies and interests and write rugby and ballet, just in case you meet a male or female partner in the interview, just to kind of cover your bases. And you took a 2-year gap year, and that's not a good look. I mean, 2 years of doing nothing is, yeah, but didn't you, yeah, I worked in that pub in Wales, and I helped them design a flyer for Mother's Day promotion. Okay, good. So we'll write there, 6 months marketing assistant for pub in Wales. Plug the gap, yeah? That's the game. Do you know what I did in that second year? I traveled around Turkey smoking hashish with nomads. That's what I did. You want somebody who's resilient, creative, courageous, confident, fearless, flexible, and positive. That's me, because I learnt it traveling Turkey smoking hashish with nomads. Because they don't teach this shit at Sydney Uni. They don't teach it at TAFE, and they don't teach it at school either. You know what I'm saying? This is life. This is life experience. And that's where I learned that. But yet somehow it's not valid, because there's no formal degree, training, education in any of this. But yet, this is it. This is what drives innovation. And peak performance, and leadership, and everything. You can throw the whole lot in there, but for now we're talking about innovation. Yeah? So that's kind of what happens. And you join an organization, and they say, yeah, we committed. We want to be innovation. We want to win the Innovation Index for Law in 2018. Is this in your job description? Is this in your job description? It should be. I mean, this is the stuff, you know? Creative, courageous, confidence. No, it's not. So this language gets lost. So, and this language is, you know, I love this Dr. Seuss quote. Today your you is truer than true. There's no one alive as you than you. So what is it? What's your thing? What do you stand for? What do you bring in the innovation space? What's your personal word, you know? Who turns up? What is it? Yeah? Like what is that? What is the you? You think Dr. Seuss wrote that for 5-year-olds? I don't think so. Like what? You need to tell a 5-year-old that? Hey, mate, there's only one of you. He goes, yeah, I know shit, Dad. Like, what are you talking about? It's us adults who need to be told this and reminded that actually there is no one alive as you than you, and this is what it's all about. So my point is, the brand new is about standing for something and about making a stand, actually. When it comes to innovation, I think that's the same thing. What is your stand as a person around that? What are you up for? What are you going to do? So let me tell you a story, okay, about Benetton. So Benetton is a fashion brand in America, I mean in Italy, or around the world. And Benetton is a real man. And he stands for lots of things. And he's very controversial. And he uses the brand to create awareness around global issues. So in the mid-'80s, it was HIV/AIDS. Yeah, it was the big thing. And he chose this photograph taken by a photojournalist of a young man dying of AIDS in front of his family, and he looks like Jesus Christ. Very controversial. Stuck up all around Europe, all around the Vatican. You know, people were really distressed about it and all that. But that's Benetton. Right? But before he started his own brand, he went for a job interview as a marketing assistant. Okay? This is a true story. He went for the interview, and when he walked in, he turned up naked. Like he had nothing on. Like zero, okay? So imagine now we're looking to recruit some people to join our team here who are kind of quite heavy on innovation. So we looked at 100 CVs, as you do, you know, and that's fine, and you kind of filter them down to the top 10. Now we want to meet the top 10 candidates in the flesh, yeah? So to speak. Somebody walks in naked. You know, resilient, you betcha, creative, yep, courageous, you get a star for that. Imagine walking the reception up there, it's like a confidence, yeah, you get a star for that. Fearless, you get a star for that. Flexible, I don't know, positive, yeah, pretty, like what the hell, you know? So I'm not saying you need to turn up naked, but it is about turning up and making a stand and standing for something, okay? Like Guy did, like Rainer did. Just put yourself out there. Don't just be a seven. Don't just sit in the pack there. Sometimes it's fine, but sometimes it's really not. You need to get out and stick your neck out like that, okay? You got to do that. So I'm going to play you very briefly the ad the Benetton is playing at the moment around the world. This is what the Benetton brand stands for right now. If you think about the world and what's going on and the news and the whole thing, it's all a bit doomy and gloomy. And this is the Benetton brand's position. This is the statement that they're making about life and the world today, which I want to share with you. So now it's time to make some new agreements. This is how we're going to end it, yeah? So please think about what it is. What is an agreement you've made in this space, yeah, about yourself? Yeah? What is an agreement you've made? Got to be popular, got to be in control, got to be liked, got to be this, I'm not good enough, whatever it might be, yeah? It might be holding you back. And then it's time to make some new agreements. So what's a new agreement that we can make about you and yourself that's going to help you step out of that place, yeah? So here's the first thing to consider. This is my most favorite Nike ad. It's about what makes you great.
Greatness, it's just something we made up. Somehow we've come to believe that greatness is a gift reserved for a chosen few, for prodigies, for superstars, and the rest of us can only stand by watching. You can forget that. Greatness is not some rare DNA strand. It's not some precious thing. Greatness is no more unique to us than breathing. We're all capable of it. All of us.
So that's the first thing. This is a new agreement. What's my greatness? We don't have to send you on some course to learn a new skill. Or no. Today, right now, in this room. What makes you a great human being? Really, truly. What is it? What's your greatness? And that voice in the head is hard. The other question is, what do you like about yourself? People look at me and they go, oh, shit, that's hard. And they usually say, oh, I'm very modest. Oh, you're right. This is the biggest cop-out not to say anything. Like, what makes you great? If you're not sure, go and ask your colleagues, ask your partner, ask your husband, ask your wife, ask your kids, ask your parents. What makes me great? You know? Like, what is my greatness? That's a new agreement. I am great in this way and this way and this way. And put those thoughts in your head because that's true and that's who you are. And start to believe that and feel that. Yeah? That'll get you out of your comfort zone. So when I say, who's a 10? You go, yeah, fuck, that's me, man. I'm great. What's your greatness? Your flexibility? Oh. Does anybody in this room know you? Or not? Okay. Because then you ask people who work with you every day and go, well, what's Raina's greatness? Tell her, you know? And then people will tell you. People will tell you stories about you. You go, oh, really? Is that, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, so ask other people. It's really good. You get that feedback. Do it in your team. What makes me great? What makes you great? People talk about themselves and then everybody else shares. The next thing is, what do you stand for? So what do you stand for? So what's your greatness? You know, today you is truer than true. There's no one like the you-ness of you. What is that? And then when you turn up, who's turning up? What do you stand for? You know, do you stand for a 7? Oh, here I am, you know, just another one of the crowd, just turning up, you know. Hey, here I am. Or is there something, you know, who's turning up? What's the energy? What's the commitment? What's the language? What's the look in the eyes? But you don't have to hold a sign, actually. You can do that. I once did actually a job for Macquarie Bank and made them hold a sign and walk up Martin Place. They never invited me back. They were accountants and they were very pissed off. But some got it. You know, what are you going to put on that sign? If I make you walk up, like, what are you going to hold on that sign? You know, be brave, make a difference, be nice, change the world, whatever, you know, what's your thing, you know? But you don't have to hold a sign. People can tell. People know. People know. And then what are you going to do? That's the other thing. What are you going to do? This is my greatness. This is my sign. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm about. Fundamentally, this is my brand. This is what I have to offer, really. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like actions that you weren't doing yesterday. When you go back to your desk tomorrow, what are you going to do? I'm asking you to do something. Okay? How do you eat an elephant? Yeah, one bite at a time. So maybe the elephant is innovation for you in your world, in your place. Maybe it's that. It's like an elephant. It's a big thing. You don't take the whole thing on. You do one bite at a time. Little stuff, little action. It's called Kaizen, Japanese word, continuous improvement. Toyota used this as a sort of way of driving their technology and engineering and innovation. One step, little things, small stuff all the time, every day. Like 1 inch. You do that for a whole year, suddenly it's like, woo! You know, it's that. What are you going to do? What are the things you're going to do? Little actions, tiny stuff. I think one of the things you need to do is to put aside time. Time is people don't have time for this shit. I don't have time to, like, I'm a fucking lawyer, I'm busy, man. I don't have time to do this. That's why Google give their employees, 20% of their time, don't they? 20% of your time to stuff around and just come up with crazy ideas. That's what Google do. They mandate that. So maybe that's too much, but put aside some time in your diary. Like, put aside time for this shit. To think about it, to work on it, to explore, to try new stuff, to build connections. Because if you don't do that, it will never happen as well. That's a massive barrier. I don't have the time. It's a massive excuse. It's a big cop-out. And by the way, when I'm talking about this stuff, I suggest you get going today. Because someday is not a day of the week. So people say, oh yeah, I'll do it one day, someday, when the time's right, when I get... No. There is no time, really. You see, this is my life. I'm going to live till 80. I'm 57. That's gone. Here's my sleep, here's my maintenance. And that's what I got left. That's it. The meaningful time I have left to do everything I do includes Mondays, includes Tuesdays, includes every day. So when you look at your life like that and you break it down, you go, you know what? there isn't a lot of stuff left really to make a difference and make an impact. So don't wait for one day someday. Today's the day. Take it on. Do something. Do anything. Just start doing shit. Yeah? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be right. Just give it a go and get out there and start innovating.